Okay. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Good,
Good,
good.
good.
Jose?
Yeah, Jose from Reefs Anonymous in TJ. I'm an aperture distributor in Mexico.
Awesome,
TJ
man.
Tijuana. Yeah.
Were you the distributor prior? Like,
Yes, yes. I've
all
been
the
a
individual brands?
distributor ever since 2016.
Bravo, man.
Yeah, from Ecotech, Neptune, AI, then they merged, and then they merged again. So I was like, Ricardo was like, what am I going to do with you? Because you were a distributor for bulk supply, everybody before. So like, pick your agent. Pick
There you
your, yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So I wanted to ask about the new podcast you have. What do you think sets it apart from all the other podcasts?
Well, for me, one, I removed my filter. So I don't got a lot of stuff tugging at my voice anymore.
Okay.
And so I get to just say what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I mean, they're all like in person.
Yeah.
So we take the expense of flying people in because I want to have a real,
Okay.
interaction. What that also does is usually like the night before I'll go out to dinner and stuff and get to know people.
I see.
Just it creates like something different, like it's
More personal, in depth.
I couldn't capture that like via satellite, man.
Okay.
It would be you wouldn't get the same interaction. So for me, I think that I'm looking for someone. Sometimes I'm looking for like the who's who, the scientists of the world. Sometimes I'm looking for just like reefers that do an excellent job. Sometimes looking for these guys. Like looking for people that do it well at a commercial level. Because they just touch so much stuff.
Yeah.
They learn a lot of things. I don't know. That's kind of the podcast element of it.
Because it's a very different approach from everything else.
Yeah, you know what else? I was like, I don't care about the YouTube algorithm anymore. I don't care about chasing views. I don't care chasing like anything. I just care about like the things either that the people on Patreon care about, or the things that I happen to be interested in, which usually are the same.
Yes, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I certainly enjoy it. This is the most enjoyable experience I've had.
It's like unchaining yourself, right? Just
Yeah.
be, you know what? I'm going to do something that's going to be mine.
For me, like, the chains weren't real strong, but like at the same time, man, like, I know that like there's 100 people, behind me, I was doing it before, like all expecting me to do the right thing. And they're all different. Some of them are employees, some of them are friends, some of them are like, business relationships. So some like there's all this stuff, and I always trying to make the right decision. And they're like, no, I don't care.
It is what it is, and it's going to be however it goes. We're going to ask the real questions. We're going to speak the truth, and whatever it takes us.
I think still like I'm not trying to set the field on fire behind me or anything, but like historically, one of the things you would miss would be I would only talk about the things that I like because that's just the right move in that environment. And the things you get to read between the lines.
Yeah.
The things that I don't like just aren't there. Still, I don't think you're hearing me talk about a lot of stuff I don't like, but when it's relevant, I don't have to pull that punch in anymore. Like I tried that thing, it didn't work for me. So it'll find a different balance. I strongly believe in being positive.
Yeah.
Talk about the things that you like and work. Spend way more time on that than talk about the things that don't work. But I think you'll find more balance.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So if you had to, it's kind of hard, but if you have to simplify to three suggestions or for a new guy that's starting.
So for a new guy that's starting, the first thing I would do is I would look for somebody that speaks your language. This is hard because most of the people that have the most knowledge tend to only speak to each other.
Yes.
We're just kind of all in that same phase. We're all doing like super expert stuff. And so a lot of times you kind of forget about the beginning. And so I would look for somebody that like clearly has the authority to talk about it, but also, is speaking your language at the time. Shameless plug, Serious Reefs, this is one of my priorities now, is to think about the people, the new and the intermediates. Like for example, we were doing a how to save money.
Okay.
And like, Jabaus is, for powerheads.
Yeah, yeah.
And I openly state, like today, a Jabau ain't the solution for me, But 100% 2004 Ryan would be buying Jabaus.
Yes.
Because this is expensive. you know?
Yes.
And it's just fine. And the reason I know that I'd be using jabals is because in 2004 I was cutting maxi jets apart and gluing radio control boat props
Yes,
to it.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was in the hobby back then.
These
Yes.
are for rich people, man.
Yeah.
Who's buying that
Yeah.
stuff? Oh, it's me now, but
Then they came out with the mod kit afterwards.
the high drawers and they got cheaper.
Yeah.
but
Well, they
were
came out
expensive.
with a mod kit for the maxi jets.
Oh yes, yes.
Yes.
Well, and then it was like a series. We were making the like DIY things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the high doors came out, which kind of like crushed that.
Yeah, the Corallias were like, oh my God, what is this? The X-shaped? It was like the newest thing on the market.
It
I
was
remember.
like a high door, or it was like a Tunes, but instead of $250, it was 50.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I remember.
But in any case, yeah, like go back. Number one tip would be to find somebody. It could be me. It could be Josh here. It could be anybody. But make sure that what you want to do is be able to get the information that gives you the confidence to act. So you don't have to just keep listening to so many people and you just like get lost in all of it.
Yes.
Like whoever is like, you know what, you're speaking to me, you're speaking to my budget, you're speaking to my skill set, you're speaking to like what I want to do. That's the person, right?
And it has to have a relatively good tank, stable.
Boom.
Yeah.
Has to actually have produced a tank that I would like to do myself.
Exactly.
Because, there's a lot of people out there giving a lot of advice that haven't had a tank in 10 years. And so it's not that their advice is bad. It's like, I just feel like you gotta, if I'm gonna listen to somebody in the beginning, I'm just gonna mountain of money this gotta be a qualification.
What happened right now? We're talking about something new that you started talking about, the cortisol levels and stuff. Is like we're always learning. So 10 years without a tank, how much information is missing?
Okay, dude, I took 1 year off. Right, 1 year off, and then re-injected. Like I was thinking about the global element of reefing, what the current challenges are, and I wasn't like testing pumps. And in 1 year, man, like I fell behind, And so now I gotta go learn all this stuff and catch back up again. And so, yeah, if you haven't touched any of this stuff in 10 years, man, it's all just kind of like theoretical, and because you do something in the tank and you experience it, and they're like, look, man, I learned something new.
Yeah.
And without that, it kind of loses something.
Yeah, look at all the recent advances, antibiotics or misuse, abuse. You can say, but it's here. Bacteria, all the other the biomes of bacteria. That's like the current the purple bacteria are all coming out. So yeah, it's all happening in the last few months, last couple of years. So a year is a lot in this.
Well, that's a good point because like anything kind of new comes out for me and like knee jerk, like snake oil.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of like where my brain starts. But like you got to go try it, and you find out like, oh, you know what? There was some there that I just didn't expect. Like because nobody knows, man.
Yeah,
we think we know the answer to all this stuff, and then you learn something new every single day.
Yeah, I was talking to Julian and I said, there's been certain like revolutions or like big turning points in the hobby, like skimmers in the 90s, LEDs, aminos. And I said, bacteria, we're barely learning. He said, no, we're barely looking at the book. We haven't even opened it. There's a lot of things. There's more things we don't know. We have no idea. Even though we talk about bacteria and the biomes, we'll still be before diapers.
Yeah. I was listening to, Neil deGrasse Tyson is?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so I was listening to him, and he was talking about how Sir Isaac Newton, I think it was, had some like theories of gravity and stuff, and ultimately they would turn out to not be true, right? So you'd say, oh man, well it was all wrong before, right? But it wasn't. It was really true. It was true. Like all the laws worked and they applied. Until you got too close to the sun and gravity was too strong. So only if you were right next to the sun was it no longer true. And now Einstein's theories proved out to be true. So was Isaac Newton wrong? No. We just learned something new. Along the way, we just
it's part of the bigger animal. It's part of an elephant. Yeah, I think he explains it as we're looking just at the hoof of the elephant or just the ear, but now we see more the torso. We haven't, we don't know it's still the whole elephant, but we know it's an elephant now.
Well, I mean, what would happen if, like, Einstein had said, Oh well, you know what I learned from Isaac, and it seems like we all got it down.
Yeah.
I just keep pushing.
Keep
Keep
pushing,
pushing.
and that's what we're always trying to do, right? There's
Yeah.
always this is always constantly changing. Sometimes we go back to what we said it was like nitrates and phosphates. It was like, no, we have to have zero. Now I think we have to have some. So we keep going back, but not going backwards.
Yeah, that one's funny because it seems like back in the day it was zero phosphate to have zero algae.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Except for we all forgot that it's algae that lives inside the coral that feeds the coral. And so if you
Yeah.
want the coral to be healthy and produce energy,
Exactly.
So yeah, no algae, man, but
Boom.
also coral struggling unless you're just feeding the
Yeah.
hell out of this tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Which as actually too part of it is like what works for me doesn't work for you, and it's not always obvious as to why. Like, because some people are like, I got zero nitrate phosphate.
Stability,
My
maybe.
tank looks awesome. You know what?
Mhm.
You got 8,000 fish in there, and you're just feeding the hell out of it. It's catching all those particles, and it's got a source of organic nitrogen and phosphorus.
Yeah, ammonia, which is more bioaccessible.
Other people, they have this like zero. Corals are all like bleached out, look for crap, skin's tissue are thin, and I could see almost a skeleton through it. Not a fish to be seen, and like I put 3 pellets in Tuesday. Like so, like what would seem to be the same just isn't, and so you just keep.
Yeah.
It becomes really obvious after the fact. I'll give you another one, actually. For me, as part of BRSTV, we set up 8,000 Insta tanks, man. It was just like, got really good at it. Just set them up, and it was great. Almost all of them were LPS tanks. And I just didn't compute how much more difficult. It's not that an SPS tank is more difficult. A high par tank is difficult, right? And I started having these experiences with high par tanks that were just not as easy as an Insta tank. And it became really obvious afterward that all the things I'm having problems with are photosynthetic, and they're getting 4 times as much photons now, and they're just rapidly exploding. But I just hadn't put the puzzle pieces together yet.
Yeah.
Now I know. And so now when I put more effort into tanks that have 4 times the photons hitting all the ugly things that like them, well, then I put 4 times the effort into putting in things that eat those things.
Exactly. It's all about competition. Like dinos, it's all about the competition. I mean, actually, Succintel is the dinoflagellate. So yeah, it's all about the competition, the diversity inside the system.
I just my go-to now is, and this isn't available in every country, sadly, but my go-to now is that TBS sand.
TBS.
So Tampa Bay saltwater is known for like putting rock in the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, and then bringing it back out, right? And one of the things they also do is they get sand, and so I buy the sand as a biome donor and put it in the tank. Works every time. It's just so easy. Those tanks, even high par tanks. I said this so there's things that we are supposed to do, and there's things that we really do. Put your earmuffs on, okay? John told me he was going to bring out a clam. And I've told this story in a couple of podcasts now, so some of you may have already seen this, but I keep dropping my phone there. So John called me up, and he's like, I'm bringing a clam. Yeah, he's coming to Minnesota, and he's going to do some videos and bring a clam. Like, dude, I don't have a tank, man. There's no tank in the office. It's wet right now. So we're kind of close, dude, but he's like, bringing it. Get it ready. I'm like, dude, I don't want to put a $600 clam in a tank that's been up for 2 days, dude. He's like, too bad. Bring it. And I'm like, well, all right. So I called up the ladies at TBS, and they overnighted me some sand. It sat there for 2 days. He came on Monday, we put the $600 clam in there, turned on the lights, 300 par, boom. And I now have an Insta clam tank. Things thriving. I never saw any of the slimes. I never saw any of the stuff. Now, I would still tell you out there to wait the 4 weeks that we talk about, because that could have gone not that way. And I'm not looking for 80% success rates. I'm looking for you guys 100. And if a couple weeks, man, gives it 100, take the weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Go by the book, because I always tell them the cycling time is not only for the tank, it's for you. To restructure, to learn new things, to give you time to learn patience, because in this hobby, you need to learn it. So it's for you more than for the tank.
I share this story because, not because you should go out and do what I did, but because you see the effects of how effective this is in even the harshest environment, what happens if you do it really well now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if it works in the harshest environment, it will work great
Yeah.
when you do a more calculated move.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So I've actually heard people have talked to me at the show where they have dynos and they've done all the dumb things you can't, you know, try to get rid of and they just aren't working.
Mm-hmm.
They buy 4 pounds of sand from them, they put it in the tanks, gone.
Yeah, biodiversity, the diversity.
Yeah.
I actually have videos. I do what I call a bacteria bomb.
Mhm.
A lot of bacteria from different brands. Try to get all the different species of bacteria in. I have videos with the microscope. The dino is trying to move. That bacteria is hitting it so hard, it's jumping around like a tennis ball. So it can eat. It can clump together with the other guys. So it eventually dies.
Interesting.
Yeah. 3 days, no dinos. It was a bomb of bacteria.
We saw that with diatoms. So
Yeah.
we were getting these explosive, like orange diatoms, and then we put copepods in. This thing had been this way forever. It's just this tank is trash. Just coated. Put the copepods in, man. Inside of a week, it is. The copepods have repopulated the thing, turned all of it, processed it into the sludge, sucked the sludge out. Tank's fine. You know, it's microcrustaceans are eating this stuff too.
Exactly, exactly.
And
so feed them with phyto, so you can have more and be have more, be stronger. Your system, they're the guys that do the work.
Hey, oh, where are you going? You're going to the airport right now?
You want to go? Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
All right, I'm sorry, everybody. I'm going to go to the airport.
No, it was great to meet you.
Yes.
Thanks for the time.
Yes. It's nice talking to you. See ya.
The microphone.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to steal.
Boom.